The next topic area we are covering would be for benchmarking. So um, they can have a question on this, okay, but rarely it will just be just on this area because the examiner now have moved towards the trend of knowing how to use it instead of defining the things. Okay, so this is going to help you to understand what are the further information that you need to help you to do a better evaluation. Because when you do evaluation, most likely they will just give you the internal benchmark, all right? Talking about past versus actual or budget, okay? Or even between departments, okay? So that is quite basic. That they will always give you financial performance of last year, this year, and then they give you a budget. And sometimes they may even ask you to prepare a budget, all right, to see whether is it doable or not doable. Okay. And another common one is they ask you to compare different departments. All right. And comparing different departments, you have to compare the percentage revenue mix. Okay. The revenue mix, the profit mix, and the volume mix. Right. To see which particular organization actually contributes more. Okay. So that is very much of an internal benchmarking. And the thing that they will do is sometimes they will introduce a little bit of external information. All right. And it will be in the form of perhaps your competitors' pricing or the average prices of the competitors' products or even the industry growth figures. And something that is going to be hiding in the cases would be the market share of your organization. So I'm going to show you an example, right, of what actually could happen. And if you are not careful, then you will miss out this information. So let's say in 2001 and 2002, you have been given information such as market share of the organization. So the market share of the organization is 10% and 12%. Okay. And in another exhibit, they will give you the organization's revenue. All right. And the organization's revenue is 5,000. Okay. And in year 2002, it was 4,000. Okay. So based on this, there are several things that we can process. We can do the variance. Okay. This one is increased by 2 percentage points. Don't give me percentage difference of the percentage. It has to be 2 percentage points. This one is minus 1,000. All right. And then percentage, this is dropped by 20%. Okay. This one you don't do. So I'm benchmarking between the years. All right. So now, if you stop there, then you miss out a very crucial information. So what you could have done is, okay, you could have done this to get the market revenue. So the market revenue would be 5,000 divided by 10%. Okay, so with that, 5,000 divided by 10%, you get 50,000. Okay, and this one 4,000 divided by 12%. So 4,000 divided by 12% equals to 3333. Okay, so and with all that, you're now able to see that the whole market is also declining. All right, but are you declining more or less than the market? Okay, and this is where I will do the calculation. You see that the drop is 33% reduction. So very quickly, I have now found out that what is the market like. So very quickly, I will be able to see that the market is dropping by 33%. Can? Okay, so benchmark like this will be given to you hidden in the case. All right. So if you didn't do this part, you wouldn't know that the market is actually slowing down and is in fact declining, and your organization also decline, but actually we are doing better than the industry. All right. So some students will just not do all this kind of processing. All right. They just leave the information per se and they don't do anything extra and they'll get in trouble. Okay. So please be sensitive to all the information given to you, because one of the key skill as an accountant, all right, is to be able to seek information, all right, and process the information. Okay, so and that's where we are assimilating information within the table. So now the other types of benchmarking would be things like activity benchmarking and generic benchmarking. What is activity benchmarking? You benchmark against activities that are the same but different industries. So, for example, if you're queuing up to pay your bills, all right, in the post office, we don't do that anymore. All right. So if we do that, it will probably be taking you half an hour to pay the bill. All right. So, however, if I were to pay the bills for, let's say, a restaurant like McDonald's, I am still queuing up. I'm still paying up, but that takes me only 2 minutes. So that means we know that the efficiency of the post office is very bad. So we are comparing the activity of queuing up, but different industries. Okay, one is the government services, the other one is the fast food service. All right. So then with this benchmark, I will know whether I'm good or bad. So ultimately, the reason why you're doing benchmarking is to find out what is good and what is bad. Okay. Now then another one that students always confuse is what is generic benchmarking. So generic benchmarking is about you are using different activities, but you get the same results. So let's say if you have a complaint to the organization, you can send them an email, you can call them up, or you can see them face to face. Which one gets the fastest way of solution? All right, then we can use that solution in the future. All right, use that particular method to encourage everybody to use that method. Okay, so we are benchmarking different activities, but the same results. Okay. So now benchmarking is always going to be hidden in a case, okay? Because definitely when you perform, when you are deciding what is good, what is bad, right? There is a need for you to benchmark. And in fact, sometimes you're not even just benchmarking numbers, you are benchmarking from the perspective of the organization's strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so if you have heard of the saying, one man's meat could be another man's poison, all right? So you have to see if you were to look at, the environment is actually causing a drop in the economy is dropping. The economy is dropping and everybody seems to have not got much money. Okay, so if you are a bank, of course, it's going to be good for you because people will start borrowing money. Okay, but if you are in retail, then it may not be good for you. Okay, so that's where when we do our analysis, you have to not just only benchmark numbers, sometimes you have to benchmark the external with the internal, because as I say, one man's meat could be another man's poison. Okay, so comparison is crucial. Then only you will know whether they perform well or not perform well. Okay, so now the next topic area that is being tested in the examination, but before I do that, I'm going to give you a question that you could actually do on your own. We won't have time to do it in class here. So I'm going to give it to you and tell you that you can go through it yourself. This case is called Norgate. And this Norgate case is a good case for you to learn benchmarking. All right. So this Norgate case talks about an organization that is having a business both in Vietnam and in France. All right. So, in UK. Okay. So, and they've just set up a branch in Vietnam to set up a call center. And the reason why they set it up there is because they want this particular call center individuals to handle French calls. All right. So then with this, okay, they have given them some KPIs. They have given them some results. The results have already been shown, and they're going to ask you evaluate the validity of the three KPIs, very similar to the MPW case. All right, and evaluate the benefits and the problems using benchmarking to evaluate the performance. And you're supposed to refer to the different types of benchmark. You're supposed to refer to the different types of benchmark, and the answers would be framed using the four different types of benchmarking. All right. So when you look at the answers later, you'll see that their answers are based on the four types of benchmark also. So let me give it to you now. So this will be a good case for you to immediately read. All right. And then from there on, you will know what is wrong with the KPIs. Okay. What are the behaviors of the individuals when they use these KPIs? Okay. And then the benchmarking. You have historical or internal benchmark, competitive benchmark, which is external, activity best in class, and generic benchmarking. Okay.